Hey, Cece of North Olmsted Tutors. We're here for week 4. We're doing 2 experiments today. Number 11, which is on the move, and number 12, which is Speedy, in your Van Cleve's book. So the first one, both of them are pretty simple. So we're going to be heavy on the questions. We're going to get the kids to be curious, to attend, to think. Those little kids, just get them to have fun and enjoy science. The first on the move's purpose is to determine why planets continue to move. So you'll want to start with questions about planets. What are our planets? Can anyone name the planets yet? We haven't done that in our memory work yet, so that might be interesting. Even ask them, what day do you think the planets were created? We know day 1 is Earth, space, time, and light, and we know day 4 is the sun, moon, and stars. So which day do you think he created the planets? I don't know. Do any of you know the answer to that question? I can't think of a definite answer right now. But we could even talk about how long do they take to orbit our sun. I know in our own homeschool we've talked about the geocentric theory, and then how now we have a heliocentric theory where all the planets orbit the sun. So we could talk about how long do they take to orbit the sun. Oops, sorry. I don't have my cameraman today to make this a little easier on me. But we're going to demonstrate this with a cake pan, which you have. It does not fit in your box, so it will be on top of the box. So make sure you grab the cake pan. You will have construction paper. I already have one cut out, so if you don't want to cut it out, you could just use my circular one that's in there. And then we also have a marble. So this is going to also introduce what we're learning next semester about inertia, Newton's first law of motion. So there's a lot of memory work that you could, when we introduce back as parents, you can have them think back to this experiment. So make sure your parents know. Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do if you aren't going to use my circle is trace the pan with the pencil that's in the box. Trace it all the way around, then cut it out a little bit on the inside of your tracing so that you can fit the circle into the pan. Okay, I've already cut it out to make this video a little faster, and so I have it there. Then you're going to put it on the inside of your pan, and you're going to thump it so it goes all the way around. 1, 2, 3, and a little bit more times around. Then you take the paper out and try to hit it with the same amount of force. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it went a little further and a little bit faster without the object making it slow down. Now you can identify this object as friction, that it's that paper is friction, and the resistance to a movement is called inertia. And we're going to learn that in, I think it's week 16, Newton's first law of physics. So if you want to look ahead and try to find a song that goes, I know there was a song for the 4th edition. I haven't looked ahead to see if it's the same wording or if the song needs to change. But I know when I read it, there's a cute one that goes through my head. So you could look ahead if you want to introduce that quickly, but it's not necessary. But ask them questions before this, like, is there friction in outer space? Have you already learned anything? This is we talked about satellites orbiting the Earth and how fast they have to go. So will they ever slow down? No, because there's not friction in space to slow it down. There's not even air to slow it down. So there's a lot of great things to talk about. And of course, Nicole Liam, she's amazing how she comes up with these questions to get them thinking. So that is the great thing about this. 12 Speedy, I'll just go right on to it. You'll set that aside. And this is very similar to how we use the string to do the satellites. We're going to talk about how, again, orbit, how the sun is in the center of the universe, and the earth and all the planets are orbiting the sun. So you could pretend that this little washer is the planet, and wherever your finger is, that's the sun. And this washer is going to go around the planet, or the washer is going to go around the sun. So you'll have to look and see, well, how fast is the washer moving around the sun? Then when you have a lot of string, I'm going to back up here. Oops, stepping on things. You're going to make it spin, and it's going a little bit slower when it's on the outside than when it's nice and up close to the washer. It's rotating much faster here, and as you let it out, much slower back here. So think about the planets as you do that, and see if they know anything about the planets to start with. Some of your older classes could name all the planets. I think some of the little kids with older siblings could probably do it too. Talk about gravity, that's a force, bringing it, the closer you get to the center, the faster it's going to spin because of gravity. And because you could even go on, Nicole Liam puts on here about how long it takes the Earth to orbit and how long Mercury takes to orbit the sun, and Neptune, that it takes a whole lot longer for it to go all the way around the sun than it does for Earth. So then there's, of course, a great diagram like she always has inside your book. So if you have any questions about these two, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Have a great day.